Get away from her, you.
In a world saturated with wannabe Vogue content and female heroes who do not represent women, it's good to remember the greats who were likable and relatable. In this episode, I want to talk about 6 female action heroes who are the most badass heroes in cinema history. Apologize for my scratchier voice, I'm a bit sick. And of course I will forget so many names, but that's your thing to do, comment your favorite female action hero, so maybe I can talk about it in the next episodes. And here are my picks. Before I get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, it would mean a lot. Thanks.
I am insane. Not.
Number 6. Lisbeth Salander, played by Rooney Mara and Noomi Rapace, the girl with the dragon tattoo. Even though Rooney Mara was the perfect cast as the girl with the dragon tattoo, but I have to admit that Noomi Rapace wins this fight since her trilogy is complete, and the role suits her very much. Well, the cold language that she speaks helps a lot as well. Lisbeth is a complex anti-hero. Her unapologetic personality, unique style and cold manner is something driven from her deep traumas that she experienced in her life, and yet she rises above all obstacles. Salander relies heavily on her wisdom and resourcefulness to fight injustice, and her methods are not always according to morality, but damn, she's scary if you are on her naughty list. An independent, flawed, but a strong character who is not depicted as someone who can fight men twice her size, but she can make anyone beg for mercy. By Anya Taylor-Joy and Charlize Theron. An action hero that women should hope. Number 4. Trinity, played by Carrie-Anne. The first Matrix movie is perfect. If you don't watch any of the sequels, especially the 4th one, you're all set. Trinity is the cool leather-wearing pretty girl that you see in every single Halloween. She is the badass martial artist who kicks men's butts on the streets. She influenced generations for many good reasons. She was a pair to Neo, and in the beginning even his mentor. A complex, fragile, yet powerful woman that wasn't afraid to love and hide her feelings. She inspired countless female-led superhero movies and girl bosses for so many years, and the series that comes to my mind is Hunger Games. Number 3. Ripley, played by Sigourney Weaver, Alien. Oh, I miss female characters who are deeply human. Ripley shows fear, doubt, grief, love and vulnerability that we almost never see in all-powerful girl bosses on today's cinema. Her character growth is totally visible in the movies that she is in. Started as a doubtful and vulnerable character and ended up as a fierce protector. Although in Alien 3 the franchise took a huge leap and turn and changed the tone, but Ripley was still the best part of the 3rd installment. Above all, Ripley became a symbol for many horror films with badass female leads, and I know many of them worked as good as putting out fire with drops of water, but still, so many writers, movie directors and studios realize that a woman protagonist is something that they can work with, if the character is well written.
Get out of the way, John. John.
Number 2. Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, the Terminator movies. I don't care how many Terminator movies are out there or how many times they try to milk this franchise. For me, there are only 2 Terminator movies, both directed by James Cameron, and that's it. Sarah Connor is probably the most famous mother in cinema. The mother who gives birth to John Connor, the savior of mankind. She has 2 complete different personalities in the first and the second movie, and they complete each other wonderfully. In the first movie, Sarah Connor is a young girl who is just living her life, and suddenly Arnold Schwarzenegger shows up and tries to kill her. She acts as anyone would react, scared, desperate, and looking for help. She shows love and compassion in Terminator 1, and in the sequel, she becomes the most badass mother who ever lived. Number 1. The Bride, played by Uma Thurman, the Kill Bill franchise. Okay, it's time to throw out all the relatable stuff out the window because it's a Tarantino character. Over the topness and so much blood and gore is the signature of a Tarantino movie. You either are his fan or you don't like his movies. The bride in Kill Bill is an iconic and unique character that takes revenge from all who wronged her. If anyone tries to create this character, they would be called ridiculous or ripoffs because the bride is the bride. A sword in her hand, an iconic outfit, she's out there to kill as many as she needs to get to Bill. Uma Thurman is the perfect casting for this role, and honestly, I really hope there is a volume 3. But let's not forget that with all the over-the-topness and blood and gore, the bride gets beaten, buried, hurt, shattered, and at the bottom, she is human. That was my list. Sorry again for my sick voice. Don't forget to like and subscribe and introduce to your friends. Ask your significant other. Movies at 6. Goodbye.